G'day, I'm Mark Latham, and today I'm calling BS on Trump derangement syndrome. Too much of this stuff all over the Western world. No wonder the media has totally lost credibility. They can't judge Donald Trump and his stance professionally and independently. They're just full of this Trump derangement syndrome. Now, the latest example in Australia is on the far left ABC website. We pay for this crap. This is taxpayer-funded so-called public broadcasting services. On the website, you've got this bloke, John Barron, not only a Trump deranged reporter at the ABC, he's had his own program there, he's totally insane about Donald Trump, couldn't be independent for a single moment. He's also supposedly an academic at Sydney University at the US Studies Centre, or as we couldn't better know them as the US Confusion Centre. Dozens of academics there, all supposed to be US experts, all said Trump had no chance of winning the presidential election in November last year, and Barron was one of those imbeciles. And now he's produced this article, supposedly journalism. Well, let's just go through it piece by piece. It's an article headed, "Donald Trump's latest spat isn't about sport or patriotism, it's about race." So here's his proposition. The argument about these NFL footy players standing up and respecting their national anthem, honouring their flag and loving their country, well, they won't do that. They're unpatriotic, they deserve condemnation. Well, Barron is saying it's not about footy or sport or patriotism, it's all about race. There's the comment, it's all about race. And he goes on to say Donald Trump is treating it as all about race. Now, wouldn't you think at this point there'd be some journalistic evidence, there'd be some quote or comment, or someone spoke to Trump about it, a source to say, yes, Trump views this as a racial issue. So you go through the piece, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, no such evidence. No such evidence. Completely deranged, no evidence to make this assertion. And he ends the ridiculous comment piece here by saying, yes, Mr. President, this really is about race. No, it's not, John Barron. It's about your derangement, your insanity, your inability to be independent for a nanosecond in judging the American president and his politics. You're the only person, this bastard Barron is the only person who introduced race into the argument in his article. Okay, he's the only one. And there it is in the second paragraph, pointing out, I didn't know these statistics, who cares about these statistics? That 70% of the top NFL players are African American and 83% of the fans are white. Who gives a shit about any of that? The left are totally deranged and obsessed about race. No one used to talk about race in mainstream politics until the left invented identity politics, and now all they can do is judge everything by race. Well, the truth is the American national anthem is not black or white. It's American, it's patriotic. The flag is not a symbol of race. It's about love of country. It's about respecting your own nation. That's what the argument's about, and I'm sure Donald Trump is worried about this, as the bulk of Americans, indeed international citizens, would be saying, common sense people out there in the suburbs and regions will be saying, look, sport doesn't have to have politics. It's not going to hurt you to stand up and honour your flag and your country and your veterans by standing instead of kneeling during the American national anthem. In fact, it's going to be good for you because it's a point of unity. Surely sport should be a point of unity without politics. Nobody goes to sporting events. No wonder the NFL crowds and viewership are down. No one goes to sport to be part of politics. They go to these events to get away from rubbish like politics. It's only people like John Barron who think it's important to introduce race and politics into sport. And to be backing Colin Kaepernick, an absolute imbecile. Barron argues here that, Kaepernick hasn't been picked up by the clubs. And again, he says it's racial. It's because he's a bloody hopeless player. He's useless. We all in Australia, we watched him at the 49ers when Jared Hayne was there. Kaepernick as a quarterback was as useful as pockets in your underpants. He was an absolute pathetic player. No wonder no one wants him on their roster. John Barron, you put in a shocker here. This is exactly the reason why Donald Trump talks about fake news. This kind of rubbish, taxpayer-funded rubbish, is the reason why Donald Trump talks about fake news, because the journalist hasn't gone in here with sources, evidence, a logical process of mounting his argument against Trump. All he's done here is start with the proposition, his own prejudicial proposition that Trump's a racist. I think Donald Trump's a racist, so I'll just sort of write up and reach that conclusion even if there is no evidence. This is why it's fake news. This is why journalism has become totally discredited. This is why people in Australia in the mainstream detest the ABC, because we're paying for this shit. Okay, it's got to end. No more Trump derangement syndrome. I'm calling BS on it. Pretty worked up about it because it is just so appalling. I'm Mark Latham for Rebel Australia. You have a good day. If you enjoyed that video, share it with all your friends on all your social media, and don't forget Mark Latham's Outsiders, our program 8 p.m. on Wednesday evenings, coming up tonight 8 p.m. You'll find it there on my Facebook page, off Twitter, and on the Rebel Media YouTube site. Tune in, it's going to be a great show.